Hello and
Hi!
welcome to the Daily Lady News. Yes.
Man,
Yes,
lady news every single day of the
yes,
year.
yes. Oh yes, this is gonna be a great video series.
Right.
You know, I feel like this hat and sword doesn't feel quite right for DMC. I'll just go. I'll
Oh,
just go change. Yes.
I knew it! I should have known! That's why there was a new puppets file.
Yes. Oh, hello there, Raymond.
Right.
Yes.
I must admit, I wasn't expecting a Nero outfit.
Well, I don't know. Like, I guess. I mean.
Although I will say, it looks good.
Yeah, it works. It works. I'm not sure which other character I would have gone with in DMC.
Well, if it was me, I probably would have picked Dante for nostalgic reasons.
So, there was a demo thing that came
Yes.
out like 2 days ago, 1 day.
We've
ago.
actually played the game!
And we have some other stuff to talk about as well in relation to DMC5. So I'll just go through stuff. We have images stuff and stuff. So
Okay.
you took some images of a preview video Maximilian dude made of DMC5, yes, correct?
Yeah, right, yes. This is from Maximilian Dude's video preview he uploaded recently. And near the end of the video, he touched on the changes to the death system. So yeah.
So this is when the player dies and you get apparently the option to use red orbs or gold orbs to revive.
Yes, and as you can see at the top right, he's got 5 gold orbs.
So gold orbs, that was an option in the early games, and red orbs is a new option. Like, the interesting thing here is that obviously you can buy red orbs with real money, which is probably why they added this option, so that people can just cheese it with real money if they want to. And is this when you've died more than once?
Alright, so this is the screen that comes up after you select the red orbs option.
Okay.
You then choose how many you want to spend, and the more you spend, the more health bars you recover. Like the bottom option only recovers 3 bars of health.
Oh. And this is when you die a second time, is that right?
Yeah, like he showed off dying again, and as if you flick between the 2 images, you can see the price has gone up.
This is like an arcade game.
Yeah, a little bit. I've said this before, but this stuff, it doesn't sit right with me.
It does remind me of one thing in the demo where, like in the new demo they released, you can access the in-game shop, and whenever you buy arms, like there's a prompt which says, "Are you sure you want to pay this using red orbs?" Which I found to be an interesting message, but that's probably related to the fact that, well, you can buy red orbs with real money. So I don't know, maybe it's related to that.
Maybe.
I will quickly say, Capcom hasn't done a good job in the past to prevent these in-game currencies to be fiddled with via modding the game.
Oh, right.
So I wonder if the PC version people could just do a simple memory edit or save game edit and be all, oh yeah, I have 1 million red orbs now. I wonder if that'll be doable, and I wonder if Capcom will care.
Now, Mr. Sectus.
Well, that's me.
Just before we started recording this, you made an interesting discovery about the acquisition of gold orbs, didn't you?
Yes. So DMC5 is apparently yet another, what do they call, like, games which never end, which are always developed?
Live service games?
Yeah, live service games. You get a login bonus in the game. This was mentioned in a Japanese interview recently, and apparently the login bonus is getting gold orbs. So it's just, it's weird to think that a DMC is getting login bonuses. It's just such a weird concept.
I'm baffled. Totally baffled.
So I have prepared a little video thing here. So I was a little bit curious. Does DMC5 run at the same speed as DMC4? I was curious kind of if they would make the speed similar to turbo mode, so I made this little comparison video. So to the left is DMC4 Special Edition, and to the right is DMC5's. This was an interesting, like, just graphics comparison as well. But it's pretty obvious right away that I think the speed is basically basically identical to DMC 4's normal speed.
Oh yeah.
Some of the attacks are ever so slightly slower in the DMC 5 demo, but that might be because maybe I did the timing differently. And the special effects are handled very differently compared to 4 as well. Especially when you get the charged versions of attacks.
Exceed.
Vroom vroom. I think I actually kind of miss, like DMC 4 goes overboard with effects, and I think I actually prefer that. Like if I
oh, whoops.
I don't think I can seek in this video. Oh well. Maybe now? There we go.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I'll just wait for, I think, I'm gonna do one of the charge thing is like here. It's a big difference. Like DMC 4, it goes crazy with the effects, and I actually kind of like that. Like it's more subtle in DMC 5, maybe more realistic. I do like this effect here on the ground with the ground being scorched.
I wonder if that was purely an artistic choice, or if it was maybe a concession for this more demanding engine to hit 60 frames per second on consoles.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Because I mean, there's frame rate videos out there for DMC5, and like on consoles, the game dips below 60.
Yeah, it doesn't maintain a constant 60 on any hardware. I think PS4 Pro is the smoothest, but even that does dip below 60 now and then, especially during cutscenes. So I feel like that's a little bit disappointing, because this is the type of game where you want a constant 60 FPS all the time.
Yep.
And I think I've ranted about this in every single podcast about DMC5, but I feel like this highlights something I've mentioned, that I like the art direction of 4. Like, look at this. Like, this is like this gothic style city with cool architecture, and then you have this, which is a modern city in ruins at night. Like, I think 4 just looks so much more striking than what we've seen of 5 so far visually, like art style wise.
I mean, I will say I do like how the city in 5 seems to be modeled after like a UK city. Like you see British telephone boxes around the place as well. The buses look very British.
And like it's not all bad. Like there's a couple of scenes in the demo which looks okay. For instance, there's one fountain area which looks kind of fancy. There's one indoor area which is kind of fancy. But still, I hope there's more varied environments in the final game. So I'll just I'll start playing this recording I made of the demo while we babble about thingies.
Yeah. So
speaking of the frame rate, I kind of feel like there are the technical problems I had with the demo. I had noticeable input lag. It was also weird input lag. If I gently tapped the stick to move, that felt super reactive. Like it felt like the character reacted immediately. But if I did any action requiring a face button, that felt laggy. It was especially obvious in the menus. Just like cycling through menu options and choosing them was like had very, very obvious lag. And to make sure that I wasn't insane, I tried to like boot up RE6 on the same platform, and that felt super responsive. Also, DMC4 on PC felt super responsive. So I don't know what's up with input lag, but that felt a little bit bad. And well, there's the typical thing that on consoles you don't have access to any options, so chromatic aberration fills me with sadness. I like sharp image quality, but I don't get that here.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be turning that off first chance I get.
And the loading times I feel were very long in the demo, especially if you skip cutscenes. Maybe if you don't skip cutscenes, you don't notice the loading times. I didn't really check that, but sometimes I felt like the loading times were very, very long.
So as a comparison point for another game on the same engine, like you played RE2 Remake on PC. Did you install it to an SSD?
Yeah.
Right. And how were the load times there? Pretty fast?
Yeah, I think they're pretty fast. The thing is, thing is though with RE2 is that it doesn't really ever load. Like it loads when you choose new game and when you load a save game. Otherwise, there's almost never ever loading in the game.
Okay.
But if I recall, when you do choose load, like the loading time is only seconds. I don't remember it being long. But yeah, I am very curious to check out the PC version of DMC 5 because I imagine that will perform a lot better.
Yeah, for those unaware, there sadly was not a demo for the PC version. Only PS4 and Xbox One got this new demo.
Yes, it was Xbox One and PS4 version for demo. And I guess it's worth mentioning that this demo is almost identical to the Xbox One demo released in December. I think the only change is that there's one more encounter and you have access to the in-game shop. Those are the only differences.
I don't think the punchline Devil Breaker was in the original demo, was it?
I don't remember. I guess maybe that's new too. But yeah, the game itself, it feels good. It feels very much like a DMC game. Like it feels crazy to me that this just feels like the reboot never existed, more or less, because it feels so much like DMC4.
You know, they say Devil May Cry is back.
Yeah,
and now I believe it. I believe it.
They do mean it. I like in some ways I kind of wish they changed more. Like the camera system and the lock-on system feel pretty much identical. DMC4, I felt like they could sometimes be fiddly there, and I did feel they were fiddly sometimes here, especially during the boss fight where the camera is locked on the boss and you can't move it much at all.
Oh yeah, you did mention that.
And also about the lock-on system, one thing I find weird is that in DMC4, when you went to options, you had several ways you could make the lock-on system work. You could make it like lock onto the closest enemy, or the enemy the character was facing, or the enemy you were tapping the analog stick towards. In this game, you can't change that. It all works in the way that the direction you're pushing the left stick in, that is the direction you will be locking onto enemies in. And I kind of felt like it was like I did mistakes now and then where I would accidentally lock onto the wrong enemy. The thing is, for instance, let's say you want to launch an enemy. That means you have to tap the stick in the direction of the enemy, then hold the lock-on button, and then tap the stick in the opposite direction to do the launch move. And it's a pretty fast-paced game, so I felt like that was a mistake I would occasionally do, where I would like maybe get the timing wrong and therefore lock onto the wrong enemy and then do the wrong move because of it. I mean, I don't know like how they would have really changed it. Like DMC Reboot went with a soft lock-on system.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I did not like that at all.
But it is something I felt like was a small bummer, but maybe I'll just get more used to it, and also maybe the PC version will feel better with less input lag.
Time will tell. We are now less than a month away from the launch.
But otherwise, the game feels good. Like, I have missed a proper character action game. Like, I bought Nier Automata because I was desperate to play a new character action game because there's basically none in the market, and I was disappointed because, well, I feel like that game was disappointing in many ways, especially like the character action gameplay wasn't that in depth. But like, it just feels so good to play this kind of game again, and it feels good. It's a good game.
It's so good.
I'm also getting used to the arms pretty quickly. So there were 3 arms in this demo. There's the like the shockwave one where you like push enemies back, or you can do this diagonal jump with it. I think you can also use it to parry enemies. That one seems to be a pretty good defensive one.
The one that's on screen right now, Gerber.
Then you have like an electrical one where you send out sparks towards the enemy. I think I used that one the least. I wasn't too impressed by that one.
Yeah, I think that's the blue one, Overture.
And then you have a punchline where you basically have a rocket arm and you can like shoot out your arm towards enemies. I think that was the most fun one to use in the demo. Yeah,
it's very satisfying using that on the boss.
And then all of these have like charge up moves where you will use up the arm to get this super powerful attack, and those were all really fun, except for the sparky arm where you set up this timed mine. Like that didn't have a big effect, and I also didn't feel like it was very useful.
Yeah.
And they've changed how the charge gunshots work in DMC4. You would hold the gun button all the time, until your arm was glowing. Then you would shoot a powerful shot. In this game, you hold the button down to reload 3 shots.
Yeah, you can occasionally see it on the HUD sometimes in this footage in the background.
Yeah, I was going to pause and showcase it, but the HUD disappeared.
Yeah.
But one awkward thing is that so you will hold the button to reload. Once you let go, you will fire a shot. So yeah, here you see the reloaded ammo.
Yeah, so those will like black out when you've used up the shots.
So the thing is, like, before combat, you want to make sure you're fully reloaded, but you don't want to just like shoot a shot so you have 2 shots rather than 3 shots reloaded. So the only solution I've found is to hold the button, jump, do a mid-air taunt, and that will cancel animation. And that will make it so that you are fully reloaded without wasting a shot.
It's rather annoying.
Maybe I'll get used to it, but I kind of feel like just be a little bit nicer. Just give us a little bit of quality of life and just let us easily reload without firing.
Yeah.
And this is the system for buying stuff mid-mission. In previous games, you would get that statue, and now you get Nico.
It's all in the van.
Nico sells you arms, and sometimes she will ask you to go bowling.
You should post this here and point out an Easter egg.
Maybe I have to go back again.
Yeah.
So I did mention that in previous games you would go to a statue instead of this vehicle to upgrade.
Yeah.
And if we look here.
There's the statue. That's the same one.
That's pretty funny. I feel like the most useful thing about this is this. You can fully customize your arms mid-mission with this menu, and that is super useful.
Yes.
So I try to go with a loadout here, which is good against the boss. Trying to remember what else I should mention. There's one thing I haven't really fiddled with. So you hold down the arm button to like charge up the arm attack for this powerful arm attack. I wonder if it's beneficial, like you talked about this, if it's beneficial to map that to a shoulder button. So you can...
I definitely want to test that, because it feels like it would be, because then you'd still be able to do your normal sword attacks and jump and dodge whilst holding the button.
I didn't test this. Can you do sword attacks while you're charging the arm?
That's the reason I want to test it, so I don't know yet.
I almost feel sad. Like, I am thankful they removed the fact that you have to hold down the gun button all the time to charge up shots, but will people now just hold arm button? Well, it wouldn't be all the time, because you won't waste all the arms all the time, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think you would be doing it as often as you would with the gun.
Yeah.
Because like the level 3 gun charge shot in 4 was so powerful that you used it constantly.
Yeah. But yeah, you use those powerful arm attacks very rarely, so even if it's beneficial to have it on a shoulder, like, hopefully that's not a big deal.
Yeah. Plus, there's also the risk, like, if you get hit whilst you're in the middle of charging the arm, you lose the arm.
Oh yeah. That's a huge thing. There's a huge thing, like a huge risk with Nero in general. Like, that's the reason why you don't want to spam arm attacks all the time. Like, even like, for instance, with the punchline, like, you will shoot out the arm, and even when the arm is like busy hurting enemies, I think that as long as you get hit even once, then the arm will be broken. So you have to be very careful.
Yeah, I think if you mapped the arm button to a shoulder button, I think you might end up like just pressing that button instead of more than holding it, so you could use like its normal moves.
Yeah. So here's an example that was mentioned earlier, that the camera is fully locked onto the boss all the time, and that's impossible to change. So for instance, if I were to move the stick left and right, I would move the camera ever so slightly left and right. You can't freely move it around the arena, which I find a little bit weird, because for instance, there are pickups in the arena, but you can't really look at them easily because of the camera. Another small annoyance is that I feel like with this camera it's easier to hit an invisible wall because you don't know how close you are to the end of the arena because of the camera. That's something I wish that changed, but oh well. I mean, the game still feels great overall. Like these are like nitpicky things.
Plus, I guess Devil May Cry games have always struggled a bit with the camera.
Yeah. I am super curious to see how the press will receive this game, because I feel like with the DMC reboot, I feel like that game was very streamlined compared to the older DMC games. It's easy to get into. I wonder if the press will end up complaining a little bit about this game, because it's a lot harder to get into, and this was like the parry move with one of the arms. It's pretty fancy to do.
Also, like I saw a tweet online, like you can parry that fireball attack with riding the punchline arm like a skateboard, which looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, I am happy they have stuff like that. Like that does a lot of stuff like that in DMC4 as well, like very special things you can do against bosses, which was super fun.
Yeah, you know, hell, there's probably skill videos just from the demo alone already filling the internet.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, are you going to avoid it this time?
I think I am. As long as you have room, it's actually very easy to avoid.
Yeah, like they try and make it tense by making you think, oh, is it going to hit me? Is it going to hit me?
I still haven't been able to get an S rank overall for the demo.
Yeah, I've only played it once and I got an A. I think I got hit too much during the boss.
In this playthrough, I only got hit 3 times in total. I wonder if this was no damage, if this run would have been S. I can definitely remember in DMC4, like no damage bonus was huge, and that was a way to easily get S ranks.
Oh yeah, speaking of ranks, since we're about to see the ranking screen in a moment, I assume.
Hopefully, I don't know when I ended the video recording. Is this the screen you're talking about?
Yeah, this'll do. So
it says I end the video here.
Okay.
So one thing we don't see here is that after this screen you will see rankings for each part of the level. Like in this case, you got 3 rankings based on different parts. I thought that was kind of interesting. Reminded me of Bayonetta.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is true now that I'm looking at the screen now, but there are some people saying that the amount of red orbs you collect during the mission doesn't actually count towards the rank anymore. It's all stylish points and speed.
That is something I would like to get confirmed, because I didn't find that obvious based on this screen. Like if you select details, then you will see a list of specific bonuses, and I can't tell if those bonuses only give red orbs or if they also give like stylish points.
Speaking of those bonuses, like when I beat the demo once, I also got that get wet bonus. I still don't know what that means.
I assume it's for like walking in the fountain. That's my only bet.
The thing is, I don't think I did that.
Oh, then I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any rain or anything. Well, actually, also, I see now there's a little bit of rain, maybe.
Also, you can pop those balloons at the beginning of the level.
Yes.
Very important to know.
You can also destroy all of the cars lying around. There was a couple of interviews recently with the developers where they mentioned interesting stuff.
Yeah.
For instance, they have confirmed there will be more DLC to the game beyond Bloody Palace. I am extremely curious what it is.
Really?
Yes. I feel like there's a certain character which would be nice to see playable. I'm just not going to mention names or anything, but I feel like there's a character that can make playable, maybe.
I wonder who.
Yeah, it's a big mystery. It's a big mystery. Who can tell? But yeah, I am all for more DLC as long as it's like new playable stuffs, like new levels or new characters or something like that. Yeah, would be super exciting.
I'm very curious what they would end up doing.
Or maybe new modes. Since Resident Evil doesn't have mercenaries anymore, maybe we'll get mercenaries in this. Probably not.
I mean, isn't that kind of what Bloody Palace is, sort of?
Yeah, well, It's similar, but one big difference is that Bloody Palace, you'll spend 2 hours on one run, while Mercenaries you spend 10 minutes on one run.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind like a shorter version of Bloody Palace because 2 hours is very, very long and very tiring.
Oh, wait. What are the electronic billboards? I think one of them says Malay Island, as in the island from DMC1. Mullet Island! That's even better! Mullet Island! You can't go there unless you've got a mullet.
I would go there, sounds amazing.
Digital Gateway.
Never looked at these signs. Shalamection.
Oh my... Smoking sensational style.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
pretty good.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I should actually pay attention to these signs to look for more Easter eggs.
But yeah, there's probably a lot of good stuff in there.
So there was more stuff in this interview. Like this is the interview where they mentioned gold orbs are login bonuses.
Yeah. I just realized I never went to this area of the level.
Oh yeah.
You're in right now.
I didn't see this in the first run through. I just went there in case it gave me more style ranks for this video.
Well, it spawns more enemies.
Yeah.
And there's extra red orbs. I'll have to remember to do that in the full game.
So I used Google Translate on this interview, so small parts of it could be wrong, but it did sound like development of this game started in 2015.
Okay. Which
makes me a little bit curious what Itsuno was doing between the end of Dragon's Dogma and start of DMC5. I kind of wonder if he worked on something which was cancelled. They confirm in the interview that some items are gone, like the recovery items that you can use from the menu and the holy water items. They're gone. They're not in DMC5.
Well, I mean, if you're relying on those, you're a scrub anyway.
Yeah, I only ever use those items for Hell and Hell mode, because that mode is insane. Right. Yeah, I wonder if that mode will return. That mode was kind of evil.
Well, I mean, these games have always been about escalating difficulty.
Yeah. He also mentioned that after finishing DMC4, he did like at least start planning DMC5 immediately afterwards, but then he ended up making Dragon's Dogma instead.
And what a fine game that was. You could say it was a masterwork.
And one very interesting thing is that at the just before he started making DMC5, he talked with the founder of Capcom, and they were talking about like which game Itsuno should work on next. And Itsuno was given the choice. Like I think Itsuno said that, hey, I wouldn't mind making Dragon's Dogma 2 or DMC5. And then the founder said, hey, okay, choose one of those two. And he chose DMC5.
And yeah, I think that was the correct choice. I mean, as much as I would like a proper sequel to Dark Arisen, like the time was right for Devil May Cry to make a comeback as an eternally developed Capcom project.
It's a hard choice because I
know
I would not mind a Dragon's Dogma 2. And there's so many ways I could make it better, like co-op in the Dragon's Dogma 2 I think would be super cool.
True. But another way to think about it is whilst we might now have to wait longer for Dragon's Dogma 2, assuming that development of that starts once development on DMC5 finishes, it probably means that these rumored next-gen consoles will probably serve as the new baseline for those games.
Are you saying Dragon's Dogma 2 might have a better frame rate than 20?
I'd say that's pretty much certain. Also...
I just, like, at the very least, just come on, Capcom, just release DDO in English, at the very least.
Oh, yes,
come
please.
On.
I would like to play that game.
I played Dragon's Dogma Online a little bit with the Japanese version. It's a fun game. It's super fiddly to get working, so an official release in English would be so nice, so good to have.
I don't want to fiddle with fan translation patches and VPNs to.
Yeah, I kind of gave up. Like at one point, they made it harder to use a VPN to play the game, so I just gave up. It's annoying because it is a good game.
And there's like they released a big update for that like last year, didn't they?
I haven't paid too much attention, but that sounds right.
I thought they did.
I've heard a little bit now and then they've been releasing big updates to the game. You also, it's mentioned here that I think we've said this before, maybe, that you get a gold orb if someone likes your gameplay after one of those co-op segments.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Man, I wonder if we'll be able to join up at all.
That is something I would like to look into modding wise, because.
Oh yeah, like maybe see how like the game searches for people.
Yeah, like if, for instance, the potential of having a mod where you can play through the entire game co-op would be kind of interesting, but since it looks like it's random matchmaking, I feel like it'll be a fiddly and annoying thing to try to mod, but I think there's potential there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Icewave wanted to join this podcast, but he wasn't available. But he did give me some notes I could relay.
Okay.
He says that he loves how the game feels to play. Nero feels just as smooth as it did in DMC4. Devil Breakers are fun. His favorite one is Punchline due to its many practical uses for his playstyle. He likes the dynamic music based on the rank, and he needs more.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those people who actually like the Devil Trigger song.
Well, if we compare the three main battle themes, I would certainly say Nero's one is the most tolerable of the bunch.
I am glad. I actually didn't notice the music too much, so I wasn't very annoyed by it so far. But I will definitely use the DLC thing where I can just use music from all the DMC games, or maybe look into modding that part of the game too.
Okay.
And there was another small revelation recently, which might be slightly baffling to people who like to try to make sense out of the DMC storyline. It was recently confirmed that DMC 2 takes place before DMC 4.
Doesn't make any sense!
So that means the correct order of events is DMC 3, DMC 1, DMC 2, DMC 4, DMC 5, right?
Now, yes, that is... Capcom, what are you doing?
I haven't seen the entire story of DMC 2, but that's a game where it's a much older, serious Dante. I don't know if there's particular story events happening there.
Aye, but he... Oh, man. I don't want to talk about DMC 2. Oh...
Maybe we should have like a full playthrough of that game, a big let's play of DMC 2, every character, all difficulties, including Bloody Palace.
Good fucking luck.
Maybe not.
Like, the game will probably put you to sleep before you finish one character.
I have now gone through all of my notes I have prepared for the podcast.
Okay.
Anything you wanted to add?
All right, I guess there's one thing. Perhaps people have noticed that I've been harping on the microtransactions to this game quite a lot. And it's just because, like, the rest of this game just looks so damn good that I don't want it to be tainted by these questionable business practices. That's all it is.
Hopefully they didn't like make Red Ops grind it to get or anything because of that system. Hopefully. Based on the demo, it seems fine at least.
So how the games have usually worked in the past is that the worse you are at the game, the lower your rank will be, and thus the less red orbs you'll get. So people new to this are probably going to be punished more than like old fans who know what they're doing. Because like people who know what they're doing, they'll probably get plenty of red orbs and never need to worry about it.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It is companies that they're all kind of like greedy. Yeah, unfortunately.
I guess another thing is like, despite some of the stuff Capcom has done in the past, I still expect better from them than this. Like, this is the kind of shit I expect from EA, Activision, Ubisoft, not them.
Well, at least they didn't announce this game as Devil May Cry Battle Royale.
And I guess it doesn't have loot boxes.
Yeah. But yeah, I am so excited to play this. Like I've wanted a new proper DMC for a long time, and it's just fun to play. Like I have played through the demo probably 7 times so far. It's just fun.
It's pretty good.
And the game is released 8th of March, right?
That is correct.
On all platforms, Xbox One, PS4 and PC, not Switch, so not all platforms.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's the Bloody Palace DLC coming for free a month later.
Yeah, I wish that was at launch, but well, at least it's there at all.
Yeah.
And I guess I can quickly mention that it looks like there might finally be some Soccer 6 stuff happening soon.
Oh, right.
There's been nothing happening with that game for forever now, but if you go to what is the site called? steamdb.info, like a Steam database thing. Like the Soccer 6 entry there, they've you don't see what they're doing, but they're doing some work with the DLC for the game, and they've been doing that very recently. There's also mentions of a new release candidate for a new patch for the game, so it looks like maybe they'll very soon finally release that Creator Soul item pack, which was supposed to happen shortly after the January patch.
Oh, also in other game news, the PC port of Yakuza Kiwami is finally coming out on February 19th.
Oh yay, stuff is happening.
That was supposed to come out last year, and it didn't.
And one more quick thing about Soccer 6 is that next weekend it's EVO Japan, and Namco has said that they will be on stage. They're talking about Soccer 6. They're claiming that they will not be announcing anything big, but I kind of feel like maybe they're just trying to be coy and they will actually announce a character there. I think it would be nice. But with that, I think that's enough for this podcasting.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to this. I guess one more tiny thing is that this might sound a little weird to some people, but I'm actually sort of invested in the story for the Devil May Cry game somewhat, which might sound a bit strange. Like, especially considering, like, I actually thought 3 had a pretty good story for the most part. Some bad line delivery, perhaps, but the story was good. But yeah, like this game is supposed to be like I think they've said before in interviews, like this is wrapping up the Sons of Sparta storyline. So this might be the conclusion of Nero, Dante, and Virgil's tale.
So then the question is Dante's soul saying that he wants to fight a certain someone?
I mean, probably, yeah.
Or does he want to perhaps fill someone's soul with light?
Oh, I mean, he always does.
But yeah, it'll be exciting. I'm also curious about this story, even though I kind of feel like the storytelling in these games haven't been great. Kyrie!
Yeah, like I didn't think 4 was terribly good in the storytelling front. Like 3 has been the peak for me from in that perspective. And well, don't get me started in the Ninja Theory games. Just
hopefully we will see quite a lot of a certain character in fight. That'd be cool. That would be cool.
We know she's in the game in some capacity, that's for sure.
But yeah, we'll probably do a podcast, I imagine, like an impressions podcast of this game after it's launched. And I'm super excited.
Oh yes. And then we'll get to see more of this puppet design.
Yes, and
who did that? Who did this design?
It is a friend of mine. I can link his site in the video description thing.
Okay.
But yes, we end podcast for now. So boy.
Bye. So excited.